Welcome back to another deep dive. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer because, well, we are unpacking what might honestly be one of the most chaotic, fast-paced, and downright historic weeks in tech. We're looking at a landscape suddenly defined by massive, multi-billion-dollar investments, hardware scale that's almost hard to wrap your head around, and ultimately how all of this is trickling down to empower the individual developer like literally never before. Think of this as the ultimate hardware-to-human funnel. Let's just jump right in.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The compute arms race. 2. Enter the multi-agent era. 3. Open source fights back. And 4. The one-person unicorn.
Section 1. The compute arms race. Scaling up.
To really ground this, just think about this number for a second. $40 billion. That's the staggering investment deal Google reportedly plans to funnel straight into Anthropic. Just take a second to process that scale. This isn't your standard funding round. This is a nation-state level budget being deployed by a single tech giant to make absolutely sure they have a front row seat to the next generation of AI. It shows you exactly how insanely high the stakes are right now.
And the physical footprint of those stakes, it's just as massive. Anthropic isn't just taking the cash. They're rapidly taking over SpaceX's Colossus One data center. Some estimates put this at a roughly $5 billion a year deal. And for what? For 300 megawatts of capacity and over 220,000 NVIDIA GPUs. I mean, 300 megawatts is enough to power a mid-sized city. This effectively turns xAI into what we're now calling a neocloud. The sheer physical hardware required to train the next frontier models is just mind-boggling.
But why this massive scramble for compute right this exact second? Well, at Anthropic's second annual developer event, Dario Amodei and his team revealed that this compute shortage was forced by a completely unexpected 80x growth in usage. Think about that, 80 times the expected usage. These models have become so incredibly useful in our everyday workflows that the demand just absolutely eclipsed the available supply almost overnight.
So, big tech is heavily anchoring their positions to secure that supply. On one side, you have Meta deploying tens of millions of AWS Graviton cores for CPU-intensive AI workloads in a massive multi-billion-dollar agreement with Amazon. And on the other side, look at the software tooling space. SpaceX is floating an absolutely jaw-dropping $60 billion acquisition option for the AI coding editor Cursor, or at the very least a $10 billion collaboration. The physical infrastructure and the software tools are totally locking arms here.
Which brings us to Section 2. Enter the multi-agent era, software evolution.
With all that hardware spinning up, what are we actually training? The answer is general-purpose agents. Right now, Berkeley's Agent Beats Phase 2, Sprint 4, which runs through May 24th, by the way, is aggressively testing these exact systems. We're moving way past AI that just writes some code or drafts an email. We're talking about agents that demonstrate broad capability, adaptability, and real robustness across wildly diverse tasks, seamlessly jumping from domain to domain.
Dario Amodei conceptualizes this whole multi-agent evolution beautifully in 3 steps. Historically, great software was built by Step 1, a team of smart people in a room. Step 2, where we are right now, is enterprise services, tools like Claude, Code, actively helping whole enterprise teams be vastly more productive. But Step 3, that's the endgame, working up to what Amodei calls a country of geniuses in a data center. Entire virtual workforces just operating autonomously.
Meanwhile, the competition is definitely not sitting still. Greg Brockman noted that OpenAI is pushing GPT 5.5 as its most capable and intuitive model yet. Their goal? They're actively pushing toward a singular, unified super app. Instead of bouncing between 10 different AI tools, imagine having one highly capable system doing your coding, your deep research, and all your data analysis all at the same time. The sheer breadth of tasks one system is going to handle is staggering.
Now, the crucial point when analyzing these new foundation models is their reasoning reliability across really complex tasks. Just look at the variance from recent community testing. Opus 4.6 actually defended a wrong mathematical proof. ChatGPT Pro managed to reconcile the formulas, but Muse Spark, it successfully did both. It shows us that while these models are crazy powerful, their base reasoning engines still have wildly distinct personalities and varying levels of reliability depending on how you prompt them.
And that leads perfectly into this next point. While compute is a massive physical constraint, the actual software engineering bottlenecks we have to remove are really fundamental issues. As Dario Amodei points out, it's about security. It's about verifiability. Like, how do we actually know the agent did what it said it did without hallucinating? And it's about context window optimization,
We absolutely have to clear these hurdles before we can truly trust that country of geniuses with mission-critical tasks.
Moving right along to Section 3, Open Source Fights Back, Scale versus Efficiency.
We are living in a true David and Goliath dichotomy right now. On one side, you've got OpenAI's massive cloud models. On the other, you have these scrappy, insanely efficient open source models. Look at DeepSeek V4 Pro. In recent testing, it actually matched flagship GPT 5.2 performance on the really complex food truck benchmark. But here's the kicker. It did it while being 17 times cheaper. 17 times! That completely changes the underlying economics for developers.
But it's not just about cost, right? It's about blazing speed on local hardware. The open source community is ruthlessly optimizing right now. Just look at these recent upgrades. Google's Gemma 4 was released utilizing multi-token prediction, or MTP, promising up to a 2x decoding speedup, and Llama.cpp just pushed MTP support into beta, targeting models like Qwen 3.x to squeeze out more than double the token generation throughput. This basically means your local machine is suddenly twice as fast overnight, purely from software optimization.
All of this is leading us directly to the new standard, the hybrid workflow. Developers are getting really smart. Why pay huge cloud computing costs for simple tasks? The new meta is routing your complex, deep reasoning enterprise queries up to the massive cloud systems while routing simple logic directly to highly capable local models. A great example is Qwen 3.627b, which recently crushed the chess to SVG benchmarks, making it perfect for things like rapidly generating roguelite games entirely locally.
Let's wrap up with Section 4, the one-person unicorn, the human layer.
To really empower these tiny, agile teams, the big companies are recognizing they just need to get out of the way. Look at this aggressive move from Anthropic. They're tearing down usage barriers. They just doubled Claude Code's 5-hour rate limits across the board for Pro, Team, and Enterprise users. They completely removed peak hours reductions, and they substantially increased API rate limits for Opus. They're essentially saying, the compute is there, the models are ready, go build as fast as humanly possible.
And we're going to see all of these groundbreaking trends, the gigawatt hardware, the software evolution, the open source rebellion, converge in one place this year. The Agentic AI Summit 2026 is happening August 1st and 2nd in Berkeley. With over 5,000 expected in-person attendees, an expanded speaker list, and early bird pricing wrapping up soon, it's shaping up to be a pivotal event. If you're tracking this industry, this is going to be the room where the future gets mapped out.
Because the crucial takeaway of this entire explainer is captured perfectly by this bold, almost unbelievable prediction from Dario Amodei. 2026 is the year we see a one-person, billion-dollar company. The era of tiny teams is truly here. With an army of AI agents, massive open-source efficiency, and infinite cloud compute right at your fingertips, the leverage applied to a single human brain has literally never been higher in the history of our species. So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. How will you and your workflows adapt to an economy driven by solo unicorns and multi-agent data centers? As the hardware scales up to the gigawatt level, the friction for you to build a massive, impactful business has literally never been lower. The tools are there, the agents are waiting, it's up to you to build the next solo unicorn. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you in the next one.